Hey, it's your man Doc Love, aka the Breakup Coach, your relationship speaker and relationship education advocate, back with the Why Is This So Challenging podcast. Now listen, we are so happy to have you come back and join us again. We love doing this. It's our mission and our passion. And so we just appreciate everybody that's been tuning in and just being able to just stay with us and listen to us. We appreciate you so much. And we want to thank you for just being down with our podcast so far.
Yes, thank you so much. We put a lot of love, we put a lot of work and a lot of attention into this, and it just feels so good to feel the outpouring of the love, the outpouring of the support, and we just want to thank you.
Definitely. So in today's episode, we want to talk about just being unsupported in relationship, and sometimes how that can also relate to transitioning into being unsupported in marriage as well. So I want to start this episode off by talking about myself personally and a situation that I've been dealing with even to this current time. Basically, as a child, and this is one of the things we have to deal with is, as children, oftentimes we may not have grown up in the best environment. It may not have been a terrible environment, but it may not have been the best. And one of the things that I kind of realized that happened to me as a child is just the feeling of being unsupported. And what that means for me is this, just feeling like sometimes when you need someone to just be there for you. And it's not that I didn't have parents. I had two wonderful parents, and they did everything that they could for me. Unfortunately for me, I lost my mother when I was 15 years old, and I lost my father when I was 20. So I didn't have that opportunity to go through adulthood and have that adult support from them. So in one way, I feel like that's one way that I may feel unsupported in life. But even in childhood, I can remember times where I just felt like maybe I just wished I had someone that could just give me more support, be there for me, actually just help me to get through something. And the thing that I realized about me and who I am is I'm a really devoted person. So what I developed in my childhood was basically support other people. So my thing had become, I want to get behind your dream, whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is. That's what I want to help you achieve. And I'm thinking in my mind that, well, if I support other people, then I will also get that support back in return. But oftentimes I didn't get that support that I was seeking and the support that I was giving to people in my own mind. So basically how this kind of came forward to adulthood is that in adulthood, not having my parents and now basically feeling like I was somebody that was feeling supported, a lot of times what would happen for me is I'm getting behind your dream. I'm getting behind your goal. And I can remember so many times where I'm the person that inspires you, tells you you can do it, tell you you're going to be great or you're going to make $1 million or whatever it is. And there will be times I want to launch a project or I want to do something. And most times it was just very little support. I just felt like, okay, I could ask people for things and it's just like, oh yeah, we'll try to do something or we'll get back with you, and then nothing or very little. And I had very few people that just really said, hey, I'm going to get on your team and get behind you basically to push you forward. And so it just made me relegate to go back to just, well, let me just support other people since I don't feel that support. Well, fast forward to current and the fact that I am married now. I have a beautiful wife. But even though I had those feelings in childhood and even in young adulthood, they still didn't go away.
Right.
And basically, as we were putting together this podcast, and really even before then, but definitely on this podcast, my wife basically is saying, hey, we're going to do this together. This is our podcast. So I'm going to jump in and do all the things.
Yeah.
And so what would happen is I would feel some kind of way. That's the best way to describe it. When she was basically doing a lot of things, and I felt like it was a lot. And I'm just like, okay, wait a minute. I need to help you with this. I need to do this. And basically one day it came to a head where she just looked at me and was like, do you not see my support for this? Or do you have a problem with me doing all these things? And it really made me pause, because I was like, well, I guess I do have some issue with that. And I was explaining to her, well, I'm just used to always helping. I'm always the person that is trying to push somebody forward. And what it made me realize is I'm finally getting the support that actually I prayed and I meditated for. And I'll talk about meditation in another one, and now I'm rejecting it, or I'm having a problem with it. And it's making us have a conflict because I'm just not used to it. The level of support that she was giving, helping with all of the marketing, just basically diving in and doing all of this work. And I'm just like, I'm feeling like, okay, this is making me feel crazy, because it was like, this is one of the first times that I ever felt truly supported by someone saying, I see your vision, right, and I'm going to make your vision come to life. Now, let me say this. There are people, when you pay them a lot of money, thousands of dollars, to help support you into doing something, that you'll feel that support. And oftentimes you don't even get that support from them. You might get hey, they'll push you out there to do it. And then it's like, okay, now I need the support to help me go all the way through with this. And it's like, oh, you got to figure it out. But it's like, now I know that I have somebody that's truly here to support me every step of the way. But I had to go into meditation and prayer about it, because I realized I got to let go of this belief that I've had since childhood that, hey, you're not supported. Your job is to support other people, not really for you to actually get the support for your dreams and your goals. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it was, like you said, I noticed that you had an issue with receiving support, even earlier on in our marriage. Mm-hmm. And I think even around the time of COVID, of the pandemic, and we had a salon, and it was a beautiful, luxurious salon that we opened, and did not know that COVID was going to happen. Yes. And when I tell you, Dr. Love was 100% supporting the salon. He was doing all the marketing. I mean, the guerrilla marketing, just going out there and doing everything. But it seemed as if when I would mention certain things to him, it's like when it started to feel like a team at times, I noticed that he would just kind of pull back a little bit. And then fast forward to now, when it was our podcast, which really was birthed through him, because he has been doing relationship coaching for a long time, since 2013? Yeah. And so we're doing this together, but this is his baby, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? This is something that he really has been passionate about for many, many years. And I was so ecstatic to be a part of the team. And everybody who knows me knows that I am an empath. I can sense the slightest change of energy, and it just seemed like every single time I would try to help, I was getting pushback, which kind of leads me to talk about perspective. The way your perspective of the way that you see things can shape your experience, because maybe there are times that people were trying to support. I don't know. And then that energy or that feeling, oh, he got it. He's very competent. He got it. He's always supporting other people. I know he can handle it. He probably don't want my help. And sometimes we have to think about that. Self-fulfilling prophecies that we're giving to ourselves. Because I'm here doing everything I can to show my support, but I'm feeling, not that we were having like disagreements about it, but I was just feeling it.
Yeah.
And so it was so cool. Why is this so challenging? That was a challenging moment where we had to sit down and we had to talk about this thing. Like, what's going on? Like, where is this coming from? And then I'm big about really, just like Doc Love is, really going into the why. Like, why are these feelings here? Why are these beliefs here? And so that's when we started just talking to each other, and through meditation and just introspection, he realized like this is stemming from really childhood. And I know, because I love my bonus family that I now have, I know that we have a lot of support. But as a child, basically growing up as really the youngest of all of your siblings, there I'm sure times that you did feel like you wanted somebody to be there, but your siblings had grown and had gone out the house and everything. But I can see where there are times that maybe you wanted people around or you wanted more support. And it's basically like you were living like the only child in the household with your parents. And so I was like, okay, well, instead of being defensive and feeling like, okay, well, he's coming against me, I was like, okay, well, let's lean into this and let's see how we can shift and how we can see things differently. And that's when we like came to the conclusion that he did appreciate the support. He just wasn't used to that much support. Somebody just coming in and just like pouring everything into it. But that's how I am. I feel like I'm a very supportive person because you want somebody to do for you what you would do for them. And so I just was like, I'll take this and I'll take that, I'll take this. And actually the things that I was doing, I enjoy. I've ran a business for over 15 years and I'm used to marketing. I'm used to all the things that come with business. And I'm just so grateful that he took a step back to let go and to let me in. And so now that has birthed us being able to do the things so that we can get this content out here to our audience.
Definitely. And one of the things that I think we can discuss is how in relationships people feel unsupported.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, people are in relationships, and like was said earlier, if for some reason through your childhood you never felt that support, then it's easy for you to be in a relationship and not get that support. And if you don't understand that it's something you should have and you should expect from the person that you're with, then oftentimes you're going to allow that person to not support you in the ways that you need to be supported. And that's going to lead oftentimes to your resentment because it's something you want or you need, but you're not asking for that support, or you're not voicing that this is something that I need from you and I have to have that. And sometimes you have situations where an individual will basically just not support you, even if you ask for that support or you let them know that you need it. So just in relationship, how it's so important for us to make sure that we seek out situations where we know we're supported. And I know for me personally, a lot of times I didn't feel supported in relationships. I felt like it was sometimes me having to do the bulk of the work, or just feeling like, okay, if I needed emotional support, which that's a bigger topic, but needing that emotional support, just mental support sometimes, just asking for that sometimes felt like it was a chore. And it felt like, okay, if I really needed it, can I trust you to give that to me? So we have to think about that when we're entering into a relationship, how important being supported is in a relationship.
Right. And being able to communicate that as well. Because Like, we all know that there's no way that we can know this unless, number one, we have deep connection with the person.
Right.
And then number two, that we can actually communicate that out. And that's why we have the free ebook.
Right.
Where we talk about love languages. And it's good for you, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, to really dissect what do you need.
Exactly.
Because the love language is about you providing what your mate needs, but you need to know what you need before you even know what your mate needs.
Exactly.
Because you both are going to need to basically communicate what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because Doc Love could be sending me 1,000 long stem red roses every day. It's nice, but that's not really my deal. Like, maybe my thing, which it is quality time.
Right. Right.
Like us laying up in the bed, holding each other, watching our favorite shows may mean so much more to me than roses,
Right.
you know? So it's like, not to say don't give me roses, but just to say that what I feel the most loved is when I have this quality time or I have this physical touch.
Right. And that's so important, because knowing that and understanding that not only makes you closer to the person that you're with, but it eliminates a lot of the issues and problems of understanding and supporting, because I couldn't support her in the things that she wants and needs if I don't know what those things are.
Right.
And being able to have these conversations, like the book points out, is allowing people to be able to say, okay, this is something that I know I need in order to make our relationships work. When we're just having a conversation with someone and how they explained the way that they met their person and had the wonderful relationship and marriage that they had, was simply because there was a situation where over time they kept supporting each other. They
Right.
kept being there for each other. Started out purely as friends, but as time went on, it was the support. It was, okay, she's going to support him in what he does. He's going to support her in what she does. We're going to base everything that we do around each other. Right. So it's understanding that having that support is so important, but it's also so important to realize other things that you may need in a relationship, and that's where the book is really beneficial and helpful.
Yeah. And I'm even thinking about, like, the way Dr. Love has supported me. This past year has been very life-changing in our family. And now me and my sisters being a caregiver and caring for our loved one. And in the midst of that, I was a natural hairstylist expert. We have a natural hair care company, Born Hair Products. But I literally had to retire this year. I was having these recurring foot infections, and I had a very, very bad infection that I'm very grateful to God that I'm still here, because it morphed into MRSA staph and another really nasty infection. And literally in a day, I had to quit my job that I love very dearly. And I never would have thought, in a million years, I would have never thought that I would have had to be faced with such life-changing things all at one time. And to have a husband that has supported me. There are times that we are apart from each other every week. And there are times when I came home, I had no energy to do nothing at all. That happened probably for almost a year straight, you know. Yeah. And I'm actually getting very emotional about it, because some people don't have that. The relationships that you formed and that you build, you're going to see that. You're going to see the results of that. And to have a husband who, when I come home, he's just like, look, you just rest. You don't worry about anything. I got you. That is priceless. And that comes from the connection that we have. That comes from when we initially reconnected. the relationship that we wanted was one of substance and depth. It was one that we wanted to establish those love bonds. Because if I wasn't married to him, perhaps I was married to someone and they're like, look, you still got to do what you need to do when you get to this house. Or I know that you have a foot infection that could have led to death, but hey, we have bills that we have to pay. And the way we set this up, we're both paying bills. But I can truly say that's not my story, and that I have a spouse that loves me, that supports me, and not just with his words, but with his actions, because that's when it's going to show up, is through the actions. If a person said that they love you, I don't care how many years you've been married, but if you fall on hard times or you fall on some of the worst moments of your life and they cannot be there to support you, then what kind of connection do you really have? So I'm so grateful. And of course, he knows how I feel, but I can't thank God and him enough for the support that he's given me. It was so bizarre. Like a week ago, I went to the orthopedic surgeon because I do have to have surgery on both my feet. And this doctor actually suggested amputation. Wow. And I mean, that's how serious this was, which I told her, like, is you cool? Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm not going to amputate a toe, right? So we're going to go with another doctor and we're looking. But we're talking about something very serious in life. When we get married, it's not the wedding that we're preparing for. It's the marriage that you're preparing for when you're dating. And that's why we do what we do. That's what Doc Love has done, what he's done for all these years, because we actually want to see the healthy relationship. We want to see that the relationship that when life starts lifing, yes, that you have the stuff to withstand the storms and the test of time, and you can support each other in the midst of those times.
Now, at this time, we want to go into the book and just give an excerpt that's in the book and give you an example of why this book is so powerful and why it can be so life-changing for what you're going through. I remember one time talking to a coworker that I was working with, and I was mentioning to him some of the things that I was writing about in my blog. And he looked at me, he said, man, I didn't think about things like that before I got married. And so even though I'm pretty sure he has a wonderful marriage and it's continuing to be successful, he probably thought if I would have thought about things that are this deep and brought these subjects up and talked about them, that honestly we would have a better and a deeper marriage and a more loving and a more harmonious and healthy marriage. So that's our goal here, is to make sure that when you're on your journey from relationship, and if your journey is to get to marriage, we want to make sure that you understand relationships as much and as deeply as you possibly can, so that you can be able to have the best relationships and attract the best relationships to you, because that's really what it's about. The more that you understand and know relationship, the better people you're going to attract to you and the better relationships you're going to have. So at this time, I'm going to let Lady Love just read an excerpt from the book, and we're going to talk about what's going on in that excerpt.
So this is in chapter 2, and it's facing what's not working. And it basically states, what you ignore, you empower. What you confront, you change. So many of us stay in cycles of frustration, silence, or survival, not because we're weak, but because we've never been taught how to recognize dysfunction or disrupt it with love and clarity. And the Gottman Institute identifies 4 common relationship destroyers. And these are relationship destroyers that you cannot have a healthy relationship with these things being present and consistently present in your relationship or marriage. So the first one is criticism. The second one is contempt. The third one is defensiveness. And the fourth one is stonewalling. So we're going to kind of break those down quickly and explain to you what these things are.
Definitely. I have a phrase that I heard, and it said, familiarity breeds contempt. And once I heard it, I really didn't understand what that meant. But as I realized and did research on that phrase, I was like, whoa, that's heavy. Because what it really meant was, it meant that somebody that knows you, really gets to know you and able to peel back all of the layers of who you are, instead of actually growing a love for you, or a deeper love, or a deeper like and deeper understanding for you, oftentimes they grow a dislike for you, or maybe even a hatred, or want to be disrespectful toward you. An example I was telling Lady Love the other day is just an example of, and I'm just using this as an example, a situation where maybe there is a person that is in a relationship, or she meets somebody and she's very happy about the guy she met, and so she wants her friend to meet this person. And of course, upon meeting the person, it's like, oh, I'm so happy for you, or whatever. But as she gets to know the guy and finds out, oh man, this is a really great guy, maybe so great that I wish I had him. And okay, well, why is she able to get him and I'm not? And does she really deserve a guy that's good, and all of that? That's contentment, is that instead of being happy for her, the actual person starts to actually hate the fact that this person is actually being with someone. And at times, and I've seen this, where they actually sabotage that relationship because they feel like, oh, she don't deserve somebody that good. And of course, the same thing can happen with men. But contentment, that situation where you feel like, oh my God, I don't really like you enough to want the best for you in a relationship.
Yeah.
And to that end, I also want to say that it's a lot of situations where they talk about sometimes your friends, in a sense, your enemies, because they're the ones preventing you from actually having the relationships you desire. Because some friends actually want to keep you single. There's another phrase I use all the time: misery loves company. And if they don't feel happy in their relationships, and they see that you meet somebody and they see you're happy, and they feel like, okay, maybe I'm going to lose my friend to this relationship. They may get married or what have you. They might sit here and do something actually to sabotage that situation.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I mean, also just criticism. And we know what criticism is. If you're on social media at any given time, you see how bad criticism can be. Sometimes people are actually criticizing people that they don't even know. They barely know them. Somebody puts out a clip, and then before you know it, they're criticizing them. And they don't even know the person. They don't know the backstory or anything. Who knows? We might get criticized for doing our podcast, but we understand how destructive criticism can be. And it's more destructive when it comes from people that you care about, people that love you, people that support you, people that say that they love you and like you and want to be with you. When that person criticizes, it can really be damaging. So in a relationship, or even in a marriage, having criticism and having contempt could be destroyers, because I'm pouring my everything into this person. I'm putting my everything into you. And instead of getting support, I'm getting criticized. Instead of getting support, I'm getting contempt. So it's understanding that whether it's relationship or marriage, and all marriage is an extension of relationship.
Yes.
It is you making a promise to someone to continue in this relationship for the duration. It's not like some glorious thing is going to happen once you go through that church door and the wedding bells go off and all of that. It's just basically from you being in a relationship, going from just saying, oh, we're doing this because we like each other, we want to be with each other, to we're making a promise to do this. So those are two of the things: contempt and criticism, how that could be so bad for your relationship.
Yes, and it is very visceral. You can really see if someone really has fallen into dislike with their mates. It's the way that they talk to each other. They may be snarky with each other. They may have a short temper with each other. They may cut each other off a lot. They treat other people better than they treat their own partner.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why it's so destructive.
Yes.
because it feels so bad. It feels so divisive.
Exactly.
It makes that person say, that person don't even like me. And this can lead to so many issues when someone basically resents you. They don't like you.
Exactly.
And as well as defensiveness. And this is one that I can speak on very thoroughly because if I'm going to be completely honest, this is something that I've dealt with, and it stems from my childhood, is being defensive. So this is when someone comes to you, let's just say, with something that they don't love, they don't like in a situation, and they're not attacking your character like somebody would do if they had contempt or criticism towards you. This is them coming to you, and because you feel like they're coming to you negatively, you get defensive about it. You feel like you're the victim and they're the perpetrator. They're the person that's trying to hurt you. This, again, stems from my childhood and some situations where I had to walk on eggshell as a child, or I didn't feel safe or comfortable in the situation. And so when stuff like that happens, you're basically afraid.
Yes.
You kind of like a dog. A dog is just trying to protect themselves typically when they are trying to bite you, because they're, whether you know it or not, they're showing you all the signs.
Yes.
They're cowering down. They're lowering their head. They're trying to get away in a way. And then, like anything, if you still feel pursued, you feel like this person is against you, then you're lashing out at them.
Right.
And so defensiveness can look very violent. This person could be very violent. This person can then go into stonewalling. And
Right.
stonewalling is where a person literally puts up a figurative wall. It's a stone wall. That person may shut down, not talk to you,
Exactly.
may ignore you, may not speak to you for days. Those two things are very destructive to a relationship, because if a person feels as if they can't come to you
Exactly.
and talk to you and give you feedback, they feel like their words don't mean anything to you, that you're just gonna treat them like they're the perpetrator. And then when somebody stonewalls,
Yes.
that makes them feel unimportant. That makes them feel like I'm not even worth their conversation. I'm not even worth them listening to me or speaking to me. And all of these things, typically, if you really start looking back, a lot of them probably have come from your childhood. That's not for you to just sit in it and say, oh, this happened to me when I was a child.
Exactly.
This is just who I am. No, because we're grown now. And now it's our responsibility
Exactly.
to be the healthy, whole people that we need to be.
Exactly.
I believe, this is just my thoughts, I believe we're always evolving. We're always
Exactly.
growing.
Exactly.
Or we're reverting.
Exactly.
So it's really up to us
Exactly.
whether or not we want to have the mindset of this is just who I am and you take it or you leave it, or this happened to me, but I have the power to let things go, and I have the power to fill it up with something that is good, that is right, that is going to help me, which is why we do the relationship education that we do.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people seriously think that the problem that they have is with their mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even realize that a lot of the problems that they have, if they really, really do some deep dive and some soul searching, a lot of those things, or the origin of them, were from their childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they need to uncover it, peel back the layers, like you said, so that they can actually start healing that little child that's within,
Exactly.
so that they can be a well-adjusted adult.
Exactly. And to that end, it made me think about how defensiveness leads to the stonewalling. Because it feels like, okay, it starts with defensiveness, and so much of it leads to now, I'm not going to even be defensive. I'm just going to put up a wall
Yes.
altogether. So the point of it is, these things come on top of each other. And it can start with just those little smart, snarky phrases that if you dismiss them, then I'm telling you, it builds over time.
Right.
So that's why it's so important to make sure that you're are mindful that, okay, is this person talking to me in a supportive way or in a positive way, or are they talking to me in a way that they're talking down to me? And after a while, that talking down grows into just talking to me, worse, it grows into contempt and so on, and then defensiveness, and then stonewalling. So that's why we wanted to point out how important the information in this book is,
Yes.
whether you're just entering into a relationship, whether you have been in a relationship for several months. Now would be a great time to start really doing that deep dive. And if you feel like you're with someone that you can really be with, if you have gotten engaged, or you've been with somebody for a couple of years and you want to take that next step,
Yes.
or even if you are newly in a marriage, a lot of times we get married and we haven't really done a lot of the talking and doing a lot of the work to just figure out what it is that we really need in our marriage. And let me say this, just because you may have gotten married and didn't ask all these questions or didn't get the answer to all of this, it's still not too late
Right.
to go ahead and do that work, because all it's going to do is help you all to understand each other better.
Yes.
And support each other better and have a better marriage and a better relationship. So no matter what area or level that you're on, this book is for you. It's something in this book that you can gain from it. And that's why we wanted to bring this book to you and give tools and things like this to you, because this is what we're really about, is helping people have the loving, healthy, happy, harmonious relationships that we know that you can have. And all it is about is just learning and understanding relationship and understanding it better so that you can have a better relationship. We talk about all the time, the more you know about business, the better business person you're going to be. The more you know about how to work out and how to take care of your body, the better your body is going to be.
Yeah.
The more you understand anything, the better you're going to be at it. And relationship is the same thing.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you joining us. Come back. We have so much more to talk about, so many more subjects
Yes.
that we want to breach that we know can help you have the relationships you desire, and hopefully just open up some things to make you think about relationship in a different way. So again, we just thank you. This is So Challenging Podcast, and we just want to say, live and love fearlessly. Thank you.